Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about using the right tool at the right time. Pressing seams. A lot of our patterns have it where we press to the dark or press to the side, and that works wonderful, and in those patterns that's what we should be doing. When tools we use to make sure that those seams are flat are our clapper. To get those seams flat, perfect tool. Our wool mats, so we need to remember to use those wool mats. Those look great. Sometimes with embroidery blocks or parts that we just want to really get at that seam, we'll use a pressing stick, another great tool. Sometimes we will use our roller press, another awesome tool. And today we're going to talk about using our purple thing and a refillable paint pen filled with best press. It holds about 4 ounces of best press, and it'll last you pretty much for about 25 by 5, so a good sized quilt of all your seams. Each tool is right for a specific job, and sometimes you have to figure out what's best for you when you're working on your quilt. Today we're going to talk about open seams and making them flat. When I use this are in cases like a lot of joins, for pinwheels, for improv blocks, for stars, anything that has a lot of points converging at one place, or it's just going to make it easier to lay out my pattern when my seams are open. So today we're going to talk about open seams using the purple thing and a refillable paint pen with best press. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at making our seams open and flat at the same time. I've got a patchwork here, just a 3-block pattern. I take my purple thing and I open it up, finger press it, and what I usually do is just give it a little spritz of spray where it went all over the place and press. On the second side I'm opening it as well. So I press it and I've got a flat seam. That's my first one. Now on the second one I'm using a refillable paint pen and it has best press in it. I'm going right along that seam so that the best press is concentrated right on that thread, and then I'm able to press instead of pushing. I get a perfectly flat seam. You can see on the other side my edges tend to curl up, and the more the block sits around, the more those curl up. I found with the refillable paint pen and the best press, I can press them, they stay flat, I don't get those curly edges, and I'm able then to match my stars, match my improvs, all my joints and those multi sections without a lot of bulk. So again, put the best press right along that strip. We're saving best press this way too, because it's not going all over the place. Press from the front again after you've done it. And there you go, best press and best flat seams I've had. Now how does it work when you have joins? Same thing, I'm taking my joined blocks here, I'm going to press them open with my purple thing. In those intersections I'm going to give it a few extra dabs of paint pen, press, and again I'm not having to take that tip and press things out of line. Keeps my block nice and square. Press it from the other side, and look, perfect joints, not a lot of bulk, flat. From the front it looks like it's one piece of cloth. I love it. I always go back and use a little best press on the whole block. Now it's all set for squaring up or adding to my quilt. Let's take a look at something a little bit more narrow. Here's an improv block. So same thing, take my purple thing and open up that seam, finger press it flat, use the water pen filled with best press. There we go, right down the seam, nice and concentrated. Press, And there we go, I have my perfect inch. Everything is flat, it's pieced in, no bulk, no bumps, no ripples. Ooh! The other way I've discovered is when I'm doing my quilt as I go. Sometimes I forget to trim out those seams ahead of time, and I found with the fusible batting, I can actually leave them in. So I take the paint pen with the best press, put it down that seam, give it a good press, and that batting gets nice and flat. From the front, I don't have any ridges, no bumps, nice clean join. Hope you give it a try.